Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you very much for joining me here. We're going to take a quick look at Luna, and we usually look at Bitcoin, but you can go and check out my other video. I'm making Bitcoin videos daily now, just to kind of help get you up to speed on what's going on here, because it's kind of a little bit of a stressful situation for some. And then of course we'll take a look at altcoins like this, for example, and dive a little bit deeper. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. I just love teaching people how to trade. So if you're new to the channel, first of all, welcome. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to help you out. But more importantly, I have a trading community designed with that specific purpose. So if you want like kind of more of a hands-on experience, so to speak, with trading videos and everything that you need to know to become a better trader, check that out because I have a trading academy rolling out month end essentially. Also working with a web developer and getting a nice robust website for members only. So it'll be a nice experience for everyone, including those who aren't members too. There's going to be some resources, but for the most part, with market data, everything, it's going to be really cool. So check that out in your own time. Now, first thing we want to take a look here at is obviously the moving average. We're back up over the 50. That didn't take long for it to come below. We had a nice little sell-off last 24 to 48 hours for Luna. That was necessary based on the fact that those corrections need to happen when a coin like this is overextended. But the fact that it's ramping back up hard today tells me that's a very good coin for long-term potential. We do have some key level resistances we want to be mindful of though, because its previous resistance level was recently a support. Now it's a resistance again, okay? So we're being below that. So somewhere between 75 and roughly about 79. We should expect potential resistance though based on that sentiment alone. Also a few other factors too we'll get into, but ultimately that's kind of what we're looking at. We also have a key level resistance, big surprise, RSI 50, effectively right in that same zone, okay? So if you kind of do the math, you'll see that the average price right there for the average true range for that resistance is about 77. That's likely the number on the RSI 50. And what I mean by that is 50 on the RSI works commonly as a support and resistance level. So if you're new to the channel, that is coalescing, so to speak, with that resistance level, that resistance plane. And it's essentially causing that to occur, right? So kind of just giving us a signal that we're going to have some resistance soon. It may not be a tremendous amount, but anywhere between 73 and 80 essentially is a really rough estimate, is going to be a resistance plane there, right? But more specifically, I think right around 78 will probably be the biggest one. But we'll see, of course, how that progresses soon. But that's something to be mindful of. You can see right now, obviously, the price is kind of getting rejected out at about 75 tentatively, but it also came down and bounced off of 73 too. So being up over that resistance, Fibonacci resistance level is nice. You can see it broke that plane, but it's also getting rejected out by that next resistance, which was essentially the one-day candlestick close. That was the one-day candlestick close high previously. Okay, and that was a very strong level there. And I'm venturing guess we're going to probably have a lot of volume accumulation in that range, which we do. It's just below, which is even better. So good news is we have a lot of volume profile in the recent past here at this point, but if we zoom out, we'll see a lot more volume accumulation higher. This is where that resistance comes into play, albeit a little bit higher than this current resistance zone, but it's still relevant to note that we do have a lot of things holding the price action down, or could essentially become roadblocks later. Not to say that's a problem. I do think that once we have a little bit more stability in Bitcoin, little will come back up. But the key takeaway here is that we do have some potential things in the way. One of them is the 200-day simple moving average. You can see how the 200 SMA is really pretty much concurrent with the 78 exactly. So the 200 is hanging out at 78, the 50 is working its way down to a potential death cross, and we do have this, this resistance channel here in this little level. So again, will the price just kind of shoot right straight through that? No, the likelihood of that's pretty low. But just be prepared for the price to go sideways and to test this a few times before it breaks through. That's all that really means. It doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to pass that. But we are kind of testing and just barely above 50 on the RSI here. So that's a good sign. And that is concurrent with $73. So we can see what roughly 77 on the 1 day and 73 on the 4 hour. You kind of average it out, that's right around 75. Okay, so ultimately not bad shape there, but we are going to face a little bit of resistance here soon. Let's take a look at TD sequential. We're at a 5 right now, so we do have a potential to push that up and push through that for at least 20 more hours. Okay, so 24 hours, we might have a full day's worth of continuation. Just bear in mind, we've seen a lot of growth here in the last 24 hours as well, about 20% overall, and that's a pretty healthy comeback, right? So do we really want it to go up 30 to 40% total in 2 trading days? Probably not. We want it to slow down, consolidate, and recover. So consolidation just before a major resistance level is perfectly fine. So we can get this ascending type of triangle pattern or wedge, so to speak, and then get a comfortable breakout to the upside after it's done its thing, right? So that's essentially what we're looking for and hoping for. Looking at the 1 hour though, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the Ichimoku cloud. This is basically telling us we have an open position. We do not want to bother closing it. So regardless of the fact that we have some resistances coming through here, coming up, we got to give it a chance to break those resistances, right? So I would say hold on to your position, because at this point we have the lagging span free and clear of price action, conversion line above the baseline, and obviously we just broke above the cloud not 4 hours ago. And that is concurrent, once again, with the MACD that occurred not so long ago, right? So yesterday we saw MACD convergence last night, and is it any surprise that we see an Ichimoku breakthrough here today recently? They usually communicate directly within about 8 to 12 hours, oftentimes less. And the fact that this is a 12-hour delay is a good sign, because that shows that we have a nice continuation. Just bear this in mind. We do have a bit of overexhaustion here, where we hit a 9 previously and we're back up to a 5. So I'd say ultimately we should expect some type of consolidation soon. It would be nice if it did that sooner, but we have roughly 4 hours worth of continuation, and the fact that it's tested this resistance level a few times means we could see a breakout to the upside soon to test the next major resistance level too, right? So I do still feel, regardless of what happens, the price is going to continue sideways between 73 and 80 for at least 24 to 48 hours. And then if it can get a nice healthy base of volume, a nice amount of foundation, so to speak, then we can see a push to the upside based on that sentiment. So again, a lot of good stuff here for Luna. I really see nothing that's adverse at all. It's all very healthy and very good. I mean, yes, it seems very overextended in the big picture, but truth be told, it spent a lot of time in this range up here between 65 and 95. And that amount of volume accumulation is important, because if we look at let's go ahead and put this in just a 1 month time frame. So roughly 1 month's worth of trading. We've seen the most volume accumulation just below the price action right now. Okay, that's a very, very good sign. So in a 1 month time frame, we've seen the most amount of volume accumulate directly below the price action, creating that strong foundation. That's why this bounced very well right here at this price point, because it was a good value. Okay, we just need to establish more volume at this price point here between 73 and 80 to get that true push up, that harder continuation, if you will. Okay, so why don't you let me know in the comments if you have any type of position, what that looks like, of course, and let's all share that, because I love to learn a little bit more about where you got in, because most people are profitable on Luna right now. Very few are, in the red, so to speak, unless they FOMOed in closer to 100, and that's okay if you did, because I do feel like it's likely it's going to be back there. Okay, and speaking of getting back there, if we look at this continuation for today, for example, and just the way this digressed, if we start making higher highs and higher lows, I do think we're going to be able to see $100 plus in at least the next month or two. So I do think this is going to be a nice strong return in the next quarter, and I think that it'll be poised nicely by summertime to essentially be hitting 120s, 130s essentially, right? So all good stuff here for Luna. I'm bullish in the big term here. Macro looks great. We should expect just maybe a short-term turnaround, so to speak, on the micro, because it is a bit on the overexhausted side on the 1 hour and the 4 hour. Plus, those key level resistances will hold the price action down soon, so just be mindful of that, okay? So I hope you found benefit here. Of course, if you do, great, let me know. If not, that's okay. Maybe consider joining my community so I can get to know you a bit better, work with you directly, and have all those assets in place to help you become a better trader. Literally, you can ask any one of my members right now. Everyone's finding great benefit. Yes, the signals can come and go sometimes because I'm patient and I don't send out signals arbitrarily, because I think overtrading is a big problem. And that's something I try to reaffirm in my community, of course. But if you're a part of that, you already know. If you're not, just be mindful that I'm not sending out signals every single day just to do that. I send out signals when they're meaningful, when they meet all the prerequisites that I have and I set. Hopefully you understand that and you can learn about that too if you don't already know. Hope you have a good rest of your day. Thanks again so much for your time. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.